Hey guys, so we are up to our Diablo 4 quarterly update, and they had a few things to say. There's introduction, and then they're just talking about the sounds that bring the monsters and characters to life in Diablo 4. And I think this is a good quarterly update as far as getting back up on their feet, because as they stated here in the introduction, there was a few things that did happen to Blizzard. And those things were not very pretty, and it set the company back a bit. But with that, I mean, like looking through, they're ensuring that they are still working on Diablo 4 and that they have a strong group together to build this game that we're all kind of waiting around for. And it's really kind of funny because I was hoping they'd have this done sooner than later, but because of the setback, it is going to be much later. I'm almost positive of this, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at this stuff. I'm kind of skimming through it, guys, but I will hit on some of the detail stuff. So, this whole top section is the introduction. I'm talking about, the strong team and hoping that we enjoy this insight into how the sounds are done for the game that brings the game to life. Let's see here. Sounds and designs, Diablo 4. So, I guess kind of the some things up here. They have a few areas, and I'll show you here, where you can look and see how the sounds bring the characters to life and bring the monsters to life. Like down here, let's see, Desert Field recording session, so you can see how their recording works. Wood Wraith, and you can see how that brings that to life. But they have to do that for each monster, each action, each thing. And I think it's kind of weird because I remember watching the movie stuff, and you would see the animation go, but there'd be no sound, and then these people would just put the sounds in that would match with the animations. And I always thought, gosh, that's gotta be kind of hard because you have to match everything up exactly to make a person register things right through their ears and through their sight. So that part I think is kind of difficult. I'm not sure if like we need a whole quarterly update on how that works, but it's kind of neat to see. I mean, if you have the time to look at these like little videos, that would be good. They also talk about world ambience, which is important. Again, like the little details make the difference when you're a player walking through these worlds. The sounds that you hear, and mostly the sounds. Now, sight does work into a little bit, but the sounds play a lot into the areas. Like if you hear a creepy sound, then you think you're in a creepy area. If you hear birds, then you think you're like in a forest or a valley or a grove or whatnot. So sound does play a lot. Let's see, do they have anything else in here that's interesting? Dungeon, again, going back into like the idea, like dungeons, it's the sounds make the difference on if you register that, hey, I'm in a dungeon and look, this is a darker dungeon, or hey, I'm in a dungeon and this is a magical dungeon, or this is a light dungeon. Like there are different like little sounds that you can put into it. What do they talk about anything in particular here? What you what you hear is what you get. So that's kind of interesting. So they're basically going for realistic, it looks like. Yeah, because they're like, we're taking more of a realistic approach. And that can be kind of cool. It just kind of depends. It kind of depends. I'm also kind of on half and half about Diablo 4 being all realistic too, because I tend to get pulled into fantasy games, and for me, Diablo had always been kind of like, kind of in a fantasy realm. So I just a light fantasy realm, but nevertheless fantasy realm. So I don't know how this whole like we're gonna be super realistic is gonna go. I suppose it'd work. I mean, if you're talking like holy like holy war type thing, then it makes sense. Like, what would you actually see during that time? What would you actually do? And that might have been what they were always going for. It's just that I never felt that much of it. Where Diablo 4 might make me feel a little bit more into that whole real holy war type thing. All right, and then they talk about the game mix and how they're using the cameras and how the sound is being added into that. So, and they talk about what I had just talked about here in a second about we must trigger sound on just about everything you see, but focus your ears on the most important sounds that you should be paying attention to. So basically, they have all these like little sounds, but like if a boss is coming, they need to make you aware that the boss is coming. So that sound might be a little louder or whatnot, and the background sounds might be a little softer. It should be a little bit louder if it's a boss, just so that you know it's coming at you. Or if there's a monster right in front of you, not even just a boss, but a monster in front of you, that you hear that sound right away, and your ears are not tuning into all the little sounds around. So their audio thing was a little bit short, but there was areas that you can look at. You can find, I will be putting the URL in my YouTube video here for you guys so that you can check out these like little YouTube videos that they made on the sounds, such as the one above here. Aha. And yeah, hopefully we'll get more information. Hopefully they'll be able to do more. And I hope to see you guys all real soon for the next video.